Hey everyone, hope you're all doing great. Myself Jivita. In this video, I'm going to discuss about what is generative AI. We all hear a buzzword generative AI every day. Artificial intelligence is booming. Along with that, even generative AI is also booming. And it's very important to understand what is generative AI. So in this video, I'll be explaining what exactly is generative AI and how the world is changing with generative AI, how the companies are using generative AI in order to make their work better. All those things definitely you'll understand in this video. So let's begin. Before I start with the definition of a generative I want to ask a few questions to you. Have you ever felt exhausted writing blogs? And worst, someone could instantly craft them for you creatively and effortlessly. Usually, we all have written a blogs and you all might have been exhausted. And at least one time in your lifetime, you might have felt like, what if somebody could write a blog for us? Yeah. Second thing, have you ever imagined something crazy like an elephant soaring through the clouds and thought, I wish I could see that? Many times we imagine crazy things and we always wish to see that in a picturization form or a visualization form. But how to see that? How to visualize what we imagined? Have you ever wanted help in writing poems, essays, or maybe the content? Or even, do you need someone to generate videos, images, and summarize a PDF or a document for you? It's really hard to write a poem sometimes if you're not passionate. Writing essays, obviously, it's like too heavy. Creating content, you have to search different websites and you have to curate content according to the requirement with your knowledge, what you understood, right? But what if somebody could do this content creation, writing poem, essays? How do you feel it? What if somebody creates a video according to your instructions? What if you want to create an image or what if you want to generate an image and if somebody does the task upon your instructions? Just to hear itself, don't you think it's like more excited? One more thing, have you ever chatted with a bot and felt like it truly understood your question and almost like a human? Usually, you have an experience of chatting with a human, maybe with your friends, family, or maybe with your neighbors. Have you ever chatted with a machine? Have you ever questioned a chatbot or maybe a machine? And have you ever faced a situation wherein it has replied you? If yes, how all these things are possible? Writing blog, creating content, creating images according to your imagination, and chatbot which is answering your question and answer. So how to answer all these things? Like who is doing all these tasks? It's a billion-dollar question, right? It sounds unreal, right? But with the power of AI, all it takes is a few words to make it real. If you are new to this domain, definitely it sounds like unreal for you. But with the help of artificial intelligence, definitely we can make all these things possible without your efforts, just with your instructions. Somebody can do this task for you. Don't you think it sounds really great? Then, how to do all these things? Who is doing all these things? Let's explore it. Generative AI, have you heard about a word like Gen AI or maybe generative AI? So, generative AI is an application where your ideas become reality. So, that means from writing a code to painting a digital art, from summarizing our research papers to crafting a music, Gen AI is not just smart, but it's creative and it's changing the way we think, work, and imagine. Have you ever wondered what if somebody could write code for you? Have you ever wondered, like, what if somebody helps you in creating a digital art, painting an art? Have you ever thought, like, we have an application which would summarize a research paper instead of studying the entire research paper? Have you ever imagined, what if I need to craft a music without my efforts? So, all these things are possible with the help of generative AI. It's not just smart, it's like creative which is changing the way human is thinking, the way human works, the way human imagining. So all these things are changing just after looking into the efforts of generative AI. You will see the reality very soon. Now let's try to understand what exactly is a generative AI. Generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that basically focus on creating new content. In the name itself, it says like generative. Generative in the sense it generates something for you. It generates a content such as like text, or if you question something, it will generate text based on it. Or if you say generate an image according to something, it will try to generate an image according to your requirement. Or if you want to generate an audio for your YouTube video, or if you want to generate a video for your YouTube, or if you want to write a code for your project, who does all these things? All these tasks will be done by the generative AI model, but how? So, based on whatever the patterns it has learned from the data that it was trained on, so it is using the knowledge that it has, and now it is doing all these tasks like creating text, images, audio, video, code, etc. Now let's understand how this generative AI is working. A very first thing, this model is generative AI is like a model. It's like an algorithm which is trained on huge amounts of data. There is a model, it has been trained on huge amounts of data, maybe billions of data, tons of data, a very huge, you can't even imagine. So, data from websites, data from different books, data from images, music, research papers, and different codes, everything was trained to the model. So, now your model has learned everything, right? So, while learning, the model will try to understand the pattern using neural network, that is a deep learning, and also it will make use of transformer. So using neural network and also transformers, the combination of both, it has understood what is the pattern available in a text, what is the pattern available in an image, music. So based on its understanding, now the model is ready to make a predictions. Not for making predictions, sorry, model is ready to generate a creative things for you. It's like, imagine you have a child. Usually we teach a child, right? The teacher will teach, student will study from books, student will watch certain videos. So you have learned everything. Next time when teacher asks you a question, can you explain what is machine learning? Based on what child has learned, it will try to collect everything and it will try to generate a new content which explains a machine learning. So similarly, generating AI model is going to work. It has learned data, right? It has been trained with tons of data, billions of data. Now model is ready with content. It has learned. Model has a data. It's been trained on huge amount of data. Now we can interact with that model. If you have heard about a ChatGPT, ChatGPT is a generative model, which is a model which is released for the first time where people started interacting with it. You all might have used what is ChatGPT and how it works. When you question, it basically answers. Okay, generative AI is a model which has learned all the data. Now it is capable of answering anything that you ask. If child has learned everything and if you ask anything based on what it has learned, usually child answer everything. Similarly, here is a model which has learned the data. Now, user is like me, you people are all like users. I'm the user. When we question anything to a model, let me question, write a blog post about artificial intelligence. So now what this generative AI model will do? It will try to collect whatever pattern it has learned related to artificial intelligence and it will try to create a generative. I mean, it is going to create or a generate a post or a blog related to artificial intelligence. Based on its learning, now it will try to generate a new creative content for you, which explains artificial intelligence. The way we were writing, you can imagine if you want to write a blog, you have to do a lot of research. You have to find Google, look into a different websites, try to understand, and based on your understanding, try to frame statements and try to include different paras and try to give an examples. It takes hell lot of time for you to write a single blog. It takes a lot of efforts. You need to understand content first, and then you have to read different blogs or maybe different websites. Try to collect the information, then try to write in your own words. Being a human for writing one single blog, it takes like a lot of time. Imagine if you want to write a blog related to different topics, maybe related to health sector, maybe related to finance, or maybe related to politics. So being a human, definitely it becomes difficult for us to learn all the domain, and writing blog posts is really hard for us. It takes like a lot of time. Instead of that, we have a generative AI model which has been trained on all possible data related to a different domain. So now, whatever question you ask, your model can write a content for you. It can write a blog for you in just a second, not even in a minute, just within a fraction of seconds. It is going to generate a blog for you according to your requirement. Don't you think it's interesting? You are expecting the same when you were writing a blog. You wanted somebody to write a blog post, but now the generative AI is doing that. Next application, what if I want to ask a generative AI model to give a simple Python code related to a for loop? Let's say I don't know for loop, I'm studying for the first time. So if you're a beginner and if you're exploring what is for loop and what is the code related to it, usually what you do, you have to look into our different websites and you need to understand what is for loop and different codes. After looking into a different websites, you come to a conclusion, okay, this is a for loop and this is how we write a code. Or you watch a video. Instead of that, you can just ask the same question to your generative AI model. It can answer you in just like few seconds. It just gives you like this. It gives you for loop syntax and it will explain every term in that particular code. Don't you think it's interesting? Before this ChatGPT era, before this generative AI era, if you had written a code, you might have faced like how complicated it is. You have to go for a Stack Overflow. You have to look into a different websites. You need to find what is the solution for this question. It was really hard, right? Like we used to spend a lot of time in doing research. Which topic is good? Which works better? Which example is good? See now, generative AI model is collecting all the information and it is giving what is required to you. It is saving your time and it is explaining you in a better way. One more interesting thing is, what if you want to generate an image of three-year kid holding dog? So before this Genia era, usually whenever you want an image, we used to go for a Google, we used to search for images and we used to take it. But now, but now you can create an image according to your imagination. Whatever you say, whatever criteria, whatever specifications you give, according to that it will generate an image. Don't you think it's interesting? That's an interesting thing related to generative AI. I hope you understood. Now let's try to understand the different applications of generative AI, how Gen AI is changing the world, how companies are using this generative AI in order to make the work easier. We could hear there are a lot of layoffs and many smart works, many easiest works, many repetitive works are basically, replaced by generative AI. Many people are wondering that a job would go soon just because of artificial intelligence. Yes, that's true because it's very important to learn the latest tools. If you learn AI tools, if you know how to use that, definitely you can survive in the market because every company wants somebody who is quick in doing something. Let's say there are two people, one person writing a blog without using generative AI, one person writing a blog using generative AI. So who will do the work quickly? Obviously, the one who is using Gen AI because he'll get a content very quickly. He can craft that according to our requirement. But the one who is writing everything on own or from scratch probably takes like more time. He has to look into our different websites, try to collect the information, try to curate it in a different way. So using JNA application, your work becomes like, very easy. You can do it in very less time. But without using artificial intelligence, definitely it takes more time for you to do things. Okay. So different interesting applications of generative AI are like, text generation, very first thing. We know Gen AI model basically helps you write emails. It just crafts some email formats for you. You can just copy paste and you can curate that according to your requirement. Writing blogs, writing stories, and even writing essays effortlessly. So without any hustle, you can do all these things just with the help of Gen AI. It also creates a social media captions. What if you want to create a YouTube video and if you want to generate a captions for it? Or what if you want to post a video, or what if you want to post a blog on LinkedIn, or probably if you want to post it on Instagram, you want a description of your post. It helps in generating. It helps in generating ad copy, writing resumes, writing reports. And what if you have a document? It helps in summarizing your document in just in seconds. Let's say you have a very lengthy document. If you want to read the document, it takes time for reading every page. Instead of that, why can't you ask a ChatGPT or maybe a GenAI model to summarize that and then try to understand what's happening? That's an interesting thing about our text generation. Next important application is like image generation. Generative AI can design logos. Usually we hire like people who used to design as logos right now. GenAI can do that. We can create our posters. We can do artwork just from text prompts. You can just give a text according to which, according to your specification, it will try to create a logo or maybe the posters or maybe a rough sketches. If you give, it will try to create our visuals according to what you said. And next important thing is like conversational AI. This is like creating chatbots. So most of the companies, uh, let's say for example, generative AI powers chatbots for customer service and websites offering instant support. So most of the time, usually, whenever you want to inquire about any company, you used to call people, right? So nowadays, you will have a chatbot. You can just interact with a chatbot to understand what course you have in that company, what services they offer. So all the customer service solutions will be given by the chatbots. That's the reason many say, humans are replaced by our AI. Because most of the repetitive tasks will be done by artificial intelligence. So with this Gen AI, we have virtual assistants like AI tutors. We have a tutors who explain better than normal tutors. We have therapy bots, and we have real-time translation from one language to another, text summarization when you put a document or maybe a research papers. It will try to summarize for you in a very simple way so you can understand it better. Next application is like code generation. Most of the companies are using a generative AI model to generate a code. To write code on your own, it takes like a lot of time. It requires your efforts. If something is wrong, you have to struggle like where is a mistake. But with the help of GenAI model, there is an autocomplete code. When you write something, it automatically completes. GitHub Copilot, and we have even in Google Colab, we have like auto completion AI integrated, fixing bugs. If something is wrong in a code, just ask the model to see like what's wrong. Explain programming logic clearly. So compare to your teacher, compare to your instructor. When you put a code to your generative AI model, it will explain better than a human. You can just try with that. It can even build entire application from a simple instructions. If you want to build any application, you can just ask ChatGPT or maybe the GenAI model to generate a code. So it just speeds up your work. That's the reason, what about 10 people who are doing the task in a company? Just one model can do the task. So that's the reason more layoffs, more replacement of AI is happening in the market. Next important thing is like audio video. What if you want to generate a realistic voiceovers for your YouTube channel? What if you want to clone voices from different recordings? It also generate like music tracks from text prompts. You can suggest you can just give like a prompt or give some description like what kind of music you want. It will try to generate. And we can also use these models in order to produce the short videos based on what scripts you give or based on images. It will try to create a video for you. Don't you think it's interesting? Because we all were struggling to do this without help of anything. But now, for doing all the tasks, most of the tasks, we can do it with an AI. That's an interesting thing, a crazy thing that is changing world. It is changing how human were thinking usually. Our perspective has changed now. Everything is changing, everything is evolving, everything is happening in a very interesting and creative way. So everyone are like wondering like how things have changed just because of an artificial intelligence. So to perform all those different applications, we have a Gen AI models. We call it like a generative AI. We have a different models for text generation. We have different things for image generations. We have different things for video generations. We have a different models. So related to different generative AI models, definitely I'll make one more video and I'll explain which model is used for what purpose. I hope you guys understood what is generative AI and why it's important in the market, why the world is using Gen AI to do the task. Because of all this interesting stuff, Gen AI has become like uh, a very important skill in the market, and a lot of opportunities you have in the market, a lot of challenging things you can do it with this Gen AI applications. I hope it's clear. So this is all about the different applications of generative AI that you people have to learn. Thank you. Happy learning. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, click on a bell icon so that you don't really miss out any updates related to my channel. So take care till we meet again with a new video.